you make your money for yourself. Like my money comes from my ticket sales. How many tickets can I sell?
Okay.
How many seats how many people can I put in seats? So that's where my money comes as an amateur. But as an amateur, I want to say it's more about, for me at least, it's more about the experience and getting to that where I want to be eventually, which is in the UFC.
Right.
I think the money will come eventually. Right now, it's not so much. Like I said, I'm done with amateur now. My first professional fight is going to be in the beginning of the year of 2016. And I'll be making some money then. And as far as professional goes, they pay you. You get this is just an example. Say 400 just to show up, and fight, and then you get 400 if you win. So you get 800 starting off. That's just not everybody pays like that. Some people pay more, some people pay less. That's just an example. And then you get paid also off your ticket sales. So you're still marketing yourself. You still want to fill seats. As far if I believe I'm correct saying that they pay you a little more for your tickets. You get more for your tickets as a professional. But yeah, that's the difference between the pay.
Now, do you actually personally have to sell tickets as you're working your way up to one of these events, or does the Scorpion Gym help you out with that? Or because it seems like that, and then fighting in your hometown, it seems like that would be a little bit of a distraction.
It's kind of a distraction. You just it's a business though. You got to market yourself. Your team does help you. Sometimes trying to sell tickets, but a lot of times it's 4 guys, 5 guys, from your gym fighting in the same event. So you just got to sell your tickets for yourself. You got to find time for, if you want to make money, you gotta market yourself.
It's kind of part of the game, huh?
Yep.
So how is your following doing locally then?
Say that one more time.
How is your following? How's that coming along in your, nearby in your local area?
Everything's been going great. As far as you mean my next event coming up?
I just mean I see you with some activity. I saw a lot of congratulations and some support on Facebook and whatnot. I'm just wondering on a per event, how is the following that you're trying to develop for yourself? How is that effort going along for you and your team?
Oh, it's going real good. After every win, I get 200 plus likes on everything I post. I get a lot of attention after my fights. I feel like I got a lot of support. This past fight, I had easily over 30 people at the fight for me. So my followers are I got some good support for sure.
Okay. About how many, you said it was at the Crystal Gardens in Southgate, Michigan. About how many seats is in that facility?
Maybe 500 to 1,000.
Okay. So what's your, you just kind of hit on one of my questions about how you got started in this, but what's who are some fighters who've been a big influence on you and your style, or how you want to conduct yourself, or how you want to train, or what you want to specialize in? Who's some people that you've looked up to?
I like to take a little bit of stuff from everybody, I find out what people are good at. As far as I watch a lot of the UFC guys, look up to guys like Donald Cerrone, Carlos Condit, a lot of guys really, John Jones, And mind you, I'm talking about like their style of fighting.
Right.
Maybe
right.
not
Right.
people. Conor McGregor, Darren Cruikshank. He was actually my coach at one point, so he showed me some things. James Gray. There's a lot of guys, honestly. I just like to take a little bit of everything from everybody, and try to mold it into something new.
How is MMA in Michigan? I know, like I said, Detroit is a pretty big boxing town. Is MMA? I know here, nearby me in the Dayton, Ohio, and Ohio in general, it leans more towards MMA. What's the balance up there in Michigan? MMA and boxing.
I'd say MMA is definitely starting to take over. Their boxing is still real big in like Detroit and stuff, but like I want to say everywhere else besides Detroit and Michigan, mixed martial arts is taking over. Even boxers, switch into MMA. So I don't know. It's just I feel like once people start doing it, they got a love for it. So especially if you've done other combat sports, wrestling, boxing, taekwondo, anything. Once you start doing MMA, you just fall in love with it.
Did you spend any time making a decision between boxing and MMA, or was it just from the get-go MMA was the direction you thought you fared better at?
It was from the get-go MMA, just because my base was wrestling.
Okay.
I already knew wrestling. I got trained in some boxing. Don't like boxing as much because I'm I like training in boxing a little bit, but I don't think I would ever take a boxing match just because I'm more of a kicking type of person. I'm more like a taekwondo style.
Okay.
And so I use my feet a lot more. I'd be too tempted to kick people.
Hey, I tell you, man. A quick aside. I've been trying to find a boxing gym here myself for a long time to work out at, and a couple of years ago, an older guy that was always ran to at the gym that I used to work out at, just a fitness gym. But he kept begging me to come to his facility, and I told him I was just into boxing, and he talked a lot of self-defense in general and powerlifting, and he asked me to come on over, and I said, all right, man. I said, I can go in there and box, right? He said, yeah, I got heavy bags and blah, 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 come on and check us out. So I get in there, man, just really going to check the place out. Really didn't have any intention of really working out per se. So I get in there, 6 or 7 guys come in, and a class is actually starting right as I get into it. And, the older guy puts me on the spot about, well, get involved, go ahead and do the class. It's free to you. So, not wanting to be a punk, man, I said, all right, man, I'll come over here and mess around with this MMA stuff.
Yeah.
And, inside, I'm really pissed off because, like I said, I just wanted to box. Now I got to do some stuff that I'm totally out of my element. Even stepping onto the mat, they had some custom about bowing to everybody or something before you go onto the mat. I'm like, all right, man, whatever. Not wanting to be disrespectful, right. But I get into the workout, man, and one of the exercises or drills that we did, I think I had to lay on my back, and I'm a 250-pound guy, right. And I'm about 5'10". This little 147-pound, 5'4", 5'5" cat lays on top of me with his hands. He had to have his hands behind his back, and I had to throw him off of me without using without using my arms.
Mm-hmm.
And man, this little 147-pound dude flipped around on top of me so lightly and was so agile, man, and I couldn't get him off of me. And that was the first thing that kind of let me know I was in trouble. But by the end of the workout, man, we had went through a couple of submission holds and whatnot, and some chokes and everything. And me and I get paired up with the 147-pound guy because he was actually like a second or third teacher or instructor, and everybody else in the class was like teenagers, and then it may have been one other guy. And so I get matched up with this 147-pound guy who's an active MMA fighter locally and, an instructor. So the last 10-15 minutes of the class, me and him have to go one-on-one working on the drills that we just learned. And, man, about 90 seconds into it, man, I was shot, man. I couldn't even lift the arm. I couldn't move. I mean, the dude was just ragdolling me.
Right.
But I actually showed up for like the next 2 or 3 classes. I got a little better every day. It was a heck of a workout. It just wasn't me, man. I just couldn't stick with it long term.
Right.
We actually never even really got into boxing. I think one day we had a little bit of striking. I think we did some drills where we had to fight into the circle, and then somebody else fought us, and then we went out, and that was all stand up. But we really never got into any boxing, so it just kind of was an easy way for me not to go back. But I did do my 3 days. I tried to be a man about it, but it just wasn't my thing, man.
I understand. It's not for everybody, for sure.
But I think if it would have been a little more of a modernized gym as far as the layout, maybe a couple more guys my age. Like I said, I was the only one. I'm in there at 37, 38 years old.
Right.
Maybe if there was another couple of guys who were in my age group and were a similar skill level, maybe I would have stuck with it a little longer.
Yeah. It's definitely easier when there's people around your skill level, make you feel like you suck.
Yeah, the little 147-pound dude, I don't know what he's done since, but I mean, he was pretty damn good at what he did, and that really just started letting me, I was like really more conscious about my weight, because I really see how being a little overweight or just bulking up with weightlifting, I really saw how that was a detriment to you being able to move fluidly and, defend yourself.
Right.
So, hey, man, what would you describe your fighting style, man? What's some of your advantages? I mean, I saw you about 5'9" for featherweight. It seems like you have height and length would be a little advantage. But, what's your style, and what do you think are some things that you bring to the game that bode well for you as you move forward?
My style is I'm a striker, but I have a ground game. I haven't had any actual training as far as never done taekwondo or karate or anything like that. But I'm all self-taught striking. I've been told by black belts or asked by black belts of karate and taekwondo if I was a black belt. So I like to think that my striking's pretty legit. I think some of my advantages are I'm definitely a big 145er. I walk around about 165, occasionally 170 when I'm getting fat. So I cut about 20-25 pounds to make it to 145. I'm tall at that weight class, so I have reach. Throw a lot of kicks, which makes me even longer. I personally think I have some of the best kicks in amateur MMA for sure. It's not the best, the fastest, and so I'd have to say my biggest advantage is my kicks and my creativity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, you just mentioned you walk around between 160, 175. How many times are you trying to fight a year with that kind of weight to have to cut? And then also, what's the life for an amateur, that's chasing this type of dream in terms of balancing work, family, training, building a following? How does that